You know what's interesting about the most intelligent women you've ever met? They probably didn't look the way you expected. They weren't the loudest person in the room or constantly trying to prove how smart they were. In fact, you might have walked right past them without noticing anything unusual. But spend an hour talking to them, and you'll sense something different. A depth, a way of thinking that doesn't follow ordinary patterns. Here's what most people get wrong. We've been taught that intelligence always looks organized, confident, and perfectly put together. But psychology suggests something very different. Many habits that signal a highly intelligent mind are the same habits society often labels as strange, messy, or even flawed. Today, we'll explore 10 of those habits. And by the end, you may realize that some of the things you've been trying to change about yourself were never weaknesses at all. The smarter someone is, the more differently they process the world. They notice more, think more deeply, and often behave in ways that others misunderstand. Let's look at those signs. Have you ever caught yourself pacing around your room talking through a problem out loud? To many people it seems odd, but for an active mind, speaking thoughts aloud is often a way to organize complexity. Psychologist Lev Vygotsky described this as inner speech, a process that helps transform scattered thoughts into clear ideas. When your brain is juggling possibilities, arguments, and solutions all at once, hearing your own words can reveal patterns you couldn't see before. So if you've ever felt embarrassed after realizing you were talking to yourself, remember this: you're not doing it because something is wrong with you. You're doing it because your mind is trying to make sense of something complicated. Do your best ideas arrive when everyone else is asleep? While society praises early risers, research on circadian rhythms has found that people with higher cognitive ability often prefer staying up later. Late at night, the noise disappears. There are no notifications, no expectations, no constant interruptions. For the first time all day, your brain has room to think deeply. That's often when creative ideas appear, difficult problems suddenly make sense, and hidden connections become obvious. If you've always wondered why your mind becomes most active at 2 a.m., it may not be a lack of discipline. It may simply be the time when your brain finally gets the silence it needs. Habit 3. The messy genius. A messy desk, a cluttered room, piles of unfinished work. Most people see chaos, but research from the University of Minnesota found that messy environments can actually encourage more creative and original thinking. Highly intelligent people often focus their mental energy on solving bigger problems instead of maintaining perfect organization. What looks like disorder from the outside may actually follow an internal system only they understand. They usually know exactly where everything is because the mess reflects the way their mind is prioritizing ideas, not appearances. So don't assume a cluttered workspace always means a cluttered mind. Sometimes it's simply the workspace of someone whose attention is invested in creating rather than organizing. The first 3 habits all have one thing in common. They happen when nobody is watching. They're the private signs of a mind constantly at work. But the next habits are even more misunderstood because they affect how highly intelligent women connect with other people. And that's where the real story begins. Compressed version, while keeping the original topic and flow. Many highly intelligent women are often misunderstood as distant, cold, or difficult to approach. But the truth is very different. They don't avoid people because they dislike them. They avoid shallow interactions because they crave meaningful ones. There's an important difference between loneliness and solitude. Loneliness is wanting connection but not having it. Solitude is choosing to be alone because your own thoughts are deeply fulfilling. Psychologist Eysenck suggested that highly intelligent, introverted minds already experience a high level of internal stimulation. Too much external noise can become mentally exhausting. That's why crowded gatherings, endless small talk, or constant socializing may leave them drained instead of energized. It's not arrogance. It's simply a mind that values depth over quantity. One meaningful conversation often feels more rewarding than 100 superficial ones. Have you ever searched for your glasses while wearing them? Forgotten your keys, or walked into a room and completely forgotten why? People often mistake these moments for carelessness, but cognitive load theory offers another explanation. The brain has limited mental resources. When it's busy processing complex ideas, it naturally gives less attention to small details. Highly intelligent people often prioritize important problems over trivial information. It's not that their memory is failing. Their brain is simply deciding what deserves attention first. Think of it as mental prioritization rather than absent-mindedness. This habit has caused intelligent women to be misunderstood for generations. They don't accept ideas simply because that's how it's always been. They want to know why. They question traditions, assumptions, opinions, and even widely accepted beliefs before accepting them as truth. Unfortunately, this curiosity is often labeled as being argumentative or difficult. But asking thoughtful questions isn't a flaw. It's one of the strongest signs of independent thinking. Progress has always started with someone willing to challenge the obvious. Highly intelligent women don't question everything to create conflict. They do it because understanding matters more than simply agreeing. And that's exactly what allows them to discover better answers than everyone else. So far, these habits have revealed one clear pattern. Highly intelligent women don't think differently just for the sake of being different. Their minds naturally seek more depth, more understanding, and more meaning. But the next 4 habits reveal the biggest challenges of all. Why intelligent women often feel misunderstood, why they overthink, procrastinate, and sometimes disappear into their own minds. Compressed while preserving the original message and flow from your transcript. Have you ever made a joke that seemed obvious to you, only to be met with blank stares? Highly intelligent women often enjoy sarcasm, irony, and layered humor. This kind of humor requires the brain to process multiple meanings at the same time, the literal words, the hidden message, and the contrast between them. Because their minds make connections so quickly, their jokes can sometimes go over other people's heads. The same ability that creates clever humor also helps them tolerate uncertainty. They don't need simple answers. They're comfortable exploring complex ideas and seeing multiple perspectives at once. Overthinking is one of the biggest struggles of an intelligent mind. Highly intelligent women rarely analyze just their work. They replay conversations, question decisions, and wonder if they said too much or not enough. Psychologist Daniel Kahneman described this as slow thinking, a careful, deliberate way of processing information. This style catches mistakes others overlook, but it also makes the mind difficult to switch off. Every decision becomes another puzzle to solve. While exhausting, this same habit often leads to wiser choices because nothing is accepted without careful thought. People often assume procrastination comes from laziness, but for many intelligent women, the real reason is perfectionism. They don't want to produce something that's merely good enough. They imagine the perfect result before they even begin. The problem is that the gap between the perfect vision and the first draft feels overwhelming. So instead of starting, they keep planning, refining, and waiting for the perfect moment. Ironically, the same perfectionism that delays the work is also what allows them to create exceptional work once they finally begin. The solution isn't lowering your standards. It's giving yourself permission to start before everything feels perfect. Habit 10. Living inside your mind. Have you ever drifted away in the middle of a conversation? You're physically present, but mentally exploring ideas, solving problems, or imagining future possibilities. Psychologists link this to the brain's default mode network, which becomes active when attention turns inward. For highly intelligent people, this network is especially active, constantly connecting ideas and generating new insights. From the outside, it may seem like they're distracted. In reality, their brain has simply followed a thought it couldn't ignore. Many of the world's best ideas are born during these quiet moments of reflection. Final thoughts. Looking at these 10 habits together, one pattern becomes clear. They aren't signs of a broken mind. They're often signs of a mind that processes the world with greater depth. The world may call your solitude coldness, your questions difficult, your overthinking excessive, your messy desk irresponsible, or your daydreaming a waste of time. But labels are often reflections of what others fail to understand. Highly intelligent women notice more, connect ideas more deeply, and experience life with greater complexity. That difference isn't a weakness. It's a different way of thinking. So if you recognized yourself in several of these habits, stop seeing them as flaws. They may be the very traits that make your mind unique. Which habit described you the best? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe for more psychology-based content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.